Good day, everyone. Good day, students, and good day, my subscribers. In the part 1 of properties of wood, I've already spoken about engineering materials. I've spoken about the 6 of them: wood, metal, ceramics, rubber, plastic, and glass. Then parts of the tree trunk, then the functions of those parts, then properties of 2 types of wood. We use their properties to differentiate them. But what I forgot to add is the general properties of wood. So I'm starting from there in this part 2 before I move to processing of timber. So general properties of wood. One of the materials that is supplied by nature is wood. Wood is commonly used because it is light, strong, and can be worked upon easily. Properties of wood talk about how wood behaves in different situations. Wood has no fixed properties. Even pieces from the same tree are different, but there are some properties that are general, that is common to all wood. Number 1 is density. It is the relationship between the mass and the volume of a piece of wood. Usually, all kinds of wood are lighter than water. That is why they float in water. Number 2, hardness. This is the position that a given material has to be scratched by other hard material. Wood hardness depends on its water content. 3, strength. It is the most important property when you have to choose a wood for an application. It is the wood capacity to support an effort. Number 4, heat conductivity is the ability to allow heat to be transferred from one end to another. Number 5, electrical conductivity. This is the ability to allow electricity to be transferred from one end of the wood to another. Luster is the ability to have a shining surface. So wood has an ability to have a shining surface. Color. Iroko has yellowish brown. Mahogany has reddish brown. Afara has pale color. Teak has red brown. Yew has dark green. Hickory has reddish brown. Cotton wood has grayish white to light grayish brown, to tell you that wood has different types of colors. So we have already evaluated this in the last contact. The only question I have to read is list 5 general properties of wood. You can do that and check whether you have gotten it. Now to timber processing. Can you define timber processing and list 4 key concepts in timber processing? Timber processing is the process of converting timber into wood, that is, converting trees into wood. The concepts in timber processing, there are 4. So the key concepts in timber processing are timber growth, timber felling, timber conversion, and timber seasoning. Number 1, timber growth. Timber growth is the process of planting seedlings and nurturing them until they grow into trees with roots, trunks, branches, leaves, and barks. It is not all plants that grow to become trees. The plants that grow to become trees from which timber can be obtained are called cotyledonous plants. Timber felling. Timber felling is the cutting down of trees into logs with the aid of a machine tool called chainsaw. A tree is usually felled in a cross-sectional manner. You can see that from the diagram in this video. Timber conversion, or you say conversion of timber, it is the process of breaking logs into marketable sizes of various thickness and wideness at sawmills. Sometimes it can be done at the site of felling. It is usually done with sawing machine. Methods of timber conversion, there are 4 types. I made mention of this in the first video on this topic. I said there are two common methods of timber conversion. These are plain sawing and quarter sawing, but there are other two that depends on those two, making four. So plain flat sawn, the diagram explains it. So when the tree is fell down, maybe by chainsaw, immediately convert the log into planks. You cut it straight, in straight form, in parallel form. So the timber log is sawn plank by plank into slabs. Quarter sawn, quarter 1/4. So this method is conversion along the base of the wood. It needs more attention because the log has to be turned. So you have to cut it into 4 parts first before you begin to cut it into slabs. C. Roof sawn. It is similar to quarter sawn method. The boards are cut radially perpendicular to the growth rings of the tree. You can look at the diagram there for clarification. Billet sawing. Another sawing pattern that uses most roof sawn boards is billet sawing. The log is first cut in half longitudinally. Each half is then sawn through and through. You will see that both roof sawn and billet sawing, they look like the first two, the plain sawn and the quarter sawn. So plain sawn, when it is cut, the one underneath it is the kind of pattern they are going to give us. Timber seasoning. That's number 3. Timber seasoning is the process of removing the excess water or moisture in wood to dry it completely, or at least reduce the water content to the barest minimum. The reason for seasoning is to protect the timber from insects and fungi attack, which cause decay. Method of seasoning: we have 2 types of seasoning: natural seasoning, or you call it air drying. Compacted timber boards or planks are piled on top of one another with pieces of wood, sticks or strips called stackers in between them. Then B, number 2, artificial seasoning or kiln drying. A kiln is a special prepared oven or furnace for drying materials. Alright, can you take this task? Do you have any idea on common timber defects, the defects of timber? Natural defects, we have 2 types: natural defects and artificial defects. Natural defects are the defects which arise when the tree is growing. We have different types. We have knots, we have shakes, and we have twists. And artificial defects are caused by negligence on the part of the personnel and workmen handling the timber. The common ones are bow, twist, cut, check, end splitting, and insect attacks. So during seasoning, during growing of the tree, if the tree is not well nourished or handled, it can result to common timber defect. That is the reason we are looking into that, because it reduces the market value of your plants. Alright, so after the timber has been seasoned, it has to be preserved. Can you explain preservation of timber? Insects like termites, worms, and fungi attack wood because of starch and sugar present in timber. Timber preservation is the application of chemicals to the sapwood of timber to poison it against insects and prolong its lifespan. So types of preservatives are: we have oil type preservatives, coal tar, solvent type preservatives, we have polish, then we have oil printing. So this is the evaluation questions. You can try to answer them by pausing the video and then go back to check whether you are correct. So thank you very much, because I don't want this to be too long. Alright, thank you. One more time. You can like and subscribe to this channel. The channel is STEM by Peter Adewumi. S stands for science, T for technology, E for engineering, and M for mathematics. I studied both engineering and education. Thank you.